AlphaTauri have just released pictures of their brand new AT03, and unlike what I was expecting from them, this is actually one of the most interesting car launches we have seen so far. So let's take a look at it, shall we? Okay, so here we have them, the first pictures of the AlphaTauri AT03, and just like the Haas VF22, what we have here are renders of the car, so we don't have real pictures of the car on track, and I've got certainly a lot of things to talk about. So firstly, talking about this livery, I'm not really a big fan of this livery, and I just feel like it's almost there. Now, I really don't like the logo coming down right here, and I just think that there's something about the way in which they put the blue and the white that is not really working. And for me, one of the most things that annoys me about this car is that this kind of blue, this navy blue, is my absolute favorite color in the world, and for some reason it's just not working for me right here. I think that the color is very muted, and I just think that the way in which the car shapes, so right here the car goes down but the blue keeps going up, I just think that the car shape with the blue doesn't really work. And honestly, what is this logo? Now, I understand that teams need to have sponsors in order to survive, but this logo honestly just ruins the car for me because of these orange X's. It really disturbs my viewing of the car, and I know that on track I will barely notice it, but I really don't like it. Okay, but after telling you all of the things that I don't like about the livery, let me tell you actually two details that I really enjoyed. And you can see them both in this angle right here, and those are the Italian flag right here and the Italian flag right here. I think that those nice little touches are really well put together, and I think that if it wasn't for this logo right here, I would enjoy this livery a lot more. I will give it about a 6 out of 10, the same that I gave the Haas. But anyway, now let's go to the technical details. That's what we are here for, and that's what we are going to explore. So taking a look at the floor, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes, which is the maximum allowed by the regulations. So we are definitely here taking a look at the floor of the AT03, and we are not taking a look at a fake floor just like the McLaren showed us. Okay, so it's very interesting to see AlphaTauri is really showing up their game, but something that is really interesting about the AlphaTauri's floor, and is something that you can see in this picture right here, and something that I really wasn't expecting from this generation of cars, you can see that the AlphaTauri AT03 has rake on it. So if I put this line right here as a straight line in this program, you can see that there's a small amount of rake to the AT03. Now, since the Venturi tunnels work by actually forcing the air to go through the Venturi tunnels in order to speed it up as much as possible, and the goal of the Venturi tunnels is that there's no leakage, so that's why in the 80s you saw teams using the skirts right here in order to assure that the air couldn't escape down the sides. I was not really expecting seeing cars with rake. Now, mind you that this high rake car that we are considering here is what we last year would probably call a low rake car, but even still, I was not expecting to see cars with rake, and this is something that I don't really know if we are going to see in other cars, but I'm curious now what the Red Bull is going to look like. But something that really caught my attention with the AlphaTauri AT03 was their sidepod design. So their sidepods are in a very interesting shape, and this is why I think that the car is not complete. So firstly, I think that this front wing is not their final front wing. I just think that it's too weird that they don't use this area right here, just like the Aston Martin or the McLaren did, or the Haas even did, in order to have an element that goes from here, in order to have that little slot that we saw on the Aston Martin and the McLaren, then to channel the air into the diffuser. I just think it's too weird that they are going to waste this front element of the front wing just as a straight line. I don't think that this is our final design. I think that we are going to see a new front wing in preseason testing. But talking about their side pods, I think that it's very interesting, the design that they have made. So their approach was to get the air from up here, then push the air down in order to speed it up and to seal the diffuser right here. So what the air is going to do is it's going to follow this side pod shape and then go into the diffuser, go up, and this is going to help seal the diffuser in the back of the car. So this is a very interesting strategy. This is nothing new. We have seen a lot of cars do this throughout the turbo hybrid era, especially the McLarens, I think, did it first. But this is nothing new. But something that's really intriguing me, and is also one of the reasons that I think that the car is not complete, is that If you look at these kinds of pictures, you see that the air will come in through these square side pods, just like in the Aston Martin they have square side pods. I'm still trying to understand why, but still okay. We have square side pods, and there's no way for the air to go out. So if we take a look at the pictures right here, you can see that the air comes in through this part right here in the sidepod inlet, and then the bodywork just goes down. And you could say that the air was coming out of the back here, but if you look at the bodywork, there's a curvature right here, and I just don't think that the air is going through here, because if they were forcing the air to go through here, then to curve here and to leave out the back, this would generate a lot of drag, and I just don't think that's what teams are going for this year, and this would kind of defeat the purpose of the air speeding up here if then you would just have a lot of internal drag. So what I think we are going to see from the AT03 are those cooling strikes, cooling louvers if you will, that we saw on the Aston Martin, and I think that all of the teams that put the sidepod in this kind of position will need to have those. And I think that it actually would not be possible to have a sidepod in this position without those, so I would really not be surprised if we just see some cooling louvers right here on the AT03, because otherwise I just don't see how the air is going to get out without having massive curves inside of the car that are going to create a lot of drag. I might be wrong, they may have some solution inside of the car, but this is what I expect to see. But something that really confuses me about the AT03 is that even though I'm expecting the car to have cooling louvers, they still have a massive opening right here. And this opening just doesn't make sense if you have cooling louvers, because you would kind of be defeating the purpose of the louvers, as all of the air would be coming out of the louvers and none through here. So I don't really know what kind of geometry they have inside of the sidepod, but it's definitely very interesting. And if you take a look at the car from the front, you can also see that there's a very big undercut right here, so their radiator must be almost lying down just like the Aston Martin one in order to have a very big undercut. And what this will mean is that the air coming in from the front will come to this place and will be very accelerated by this narrow zone right here, and then we'll join up with the air coming from the top to create a very high speed zone right here that will help seal the diffuser. Now I think that this is a very interesting design from AlphaTauri, and I'm honestly expecting to see Red Bull doing this based on the AlphaTauri, seeing as they have the same Honda power unit. Now I'm really expecting this car to change a lot when it comes to the preseason testing version. I'm expecting a few changes here around the floor geometry, but then again all of the teams are hiding their floor. But I'm also expecting a brand new front wing that really uses that front flap just like all of the other teams are using, and I'm really interested to see if we are going to see the car with cooling louvers or not, or if they have an internal geometry for the cooling that will allow them to get the air through the back without generating a lot of drag. But those are my first impressions of the AlphaTauri AT03. Again, I think that they are pushing this livery to the limit and that we really need a new livery from AlphaTauri. I think that the AT01 was very beautiful, the car that Pierre Gasly won a race with at Monza, and I think that the AT02 was a downgrade, and this is an upgrade from the AT02, but still I think that this livery could be improved. And I just need to ask you something: where are the white rims? These rims look much better in white, so why are they not white? It makes a huge difference to the car. Of course it would not be this kind of white, but it makes a huge difference to the car, and I think it would look much better, and it was one of the staples of the AlphaTauri AT01 and AT02. So now that they have the full wheel covers, why are they not painted white? I've only seen McLaren use the wheel cover for something, and they can add a really nice touch of personality to the car, and they look very good. So that's been it for my analysis of the brand new AlphaTauri AT03. Definitely a more interesting car than what I was expecting. And if you enjoyed this video, you can check out my playlist right here with my analysis on every single car launch of the season so far. So that's been it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next car launch. Goodbye!